I ate my Nintendo Switch and now I've got poisoning from the batteries.
BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed ahoy hoy, and welcome back to normal service at BRB UK Towers. It's episode 539. My name is Dan. I'm one of your hosts. We have recovered from the Easter. There are two other people who have recovered from the Easter. One of them's Tim. Say hello, Tim.
Hello, Tim.
Well done. And the other one's Coleman, who's back from his Holibobs.
Hi.
I'm calling them Holibobs because I know it's a term that really annoys you.
Me? No, it's not.
No, Tim, sorry.
Oh, okay. Good.
Tim, why does the term Holibobs annoy you?
It doesn't deeply disturb me. It just sounds like you're talking to a 5-year-old.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I never knew this, and
being-
I every time we're away for Christmas break or something, I always write we're on our Hollybobs, and Tim's never said a thing about it.
Yeah, it's not something that particularly bothers me.
Does it make you want to use it more?
No, not really.
It's not like we're calling them Holibobby-Jim-Jams or anything like that. You know, we're
Ooh,
not
that's
taking
good.
it to an
Writing that
Holibobby-Jim-Jams.
Holibobby-Jim-Jams. Let me just write that down for later.
Every postcard to Tim. Holibobby-Jim-Jams. Holibobapalooza.
I don't know why I'm making a note. I'm going to hear this back later.
I know, exactly. Note to self. Dan's bit. Or is it just a timestamp of Dan's talking nonsense?
Oh, right.
Edit
Yeah,
this
going
out.
to cut that one out, yeah?
Something like that.
Put it on the soundboard.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. So anyway, we had a lovely time away in Easter. I went to Wales, which was nice, which was very nice actually. I went to Betsy Coed. Betsy
Lovely.
Coed, living my middle class midlife dream. That was
Nice.
beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, really nice. Best thing about it, no internet.
Oh.
Seriously, no internet.
Pretty good.
God bless you,
Pretty
valleys. And the reason why that was so good is that it meant I actually unplugged from everything, which is much needed. So yeah, it was lovely in a very lo-fi, new age fun with the vintage feel kind of way.
I was in the lovely country of Malta with my work
I
phone
love
constantly
Malta.
going off.
Nice. Oh,
Sorry to
Malta's the
disturb.
best.
I know it's 2 a.m. and you're wankered in the bar, but could you tell me what to do with this? I'm like, okay.
Nice. Malta's great. I love Malta.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Very
Yeah, it's the first time I've been.
Very tiny.
Very nice.
Super tiny.
Whereas I was in the sunny climes of London. But, hey.
Nice. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Well, anyway, we all did an Easter. I hope you all had a lovely one, or
Yep.
whatever you did, or just enjoyed the weekend off. I'm a bit confused. There's several more bank holidays coming up. I'm very confused. Something to do with the king.
Yep.
All I know is I've got this 3-4 day weeks. It's going to be amazing.
It's costing us all a lot of money, so I'm glad we're at least getting a day off.
I think 2 days before or 2 days after the coronation, that's when I'm going to go see Spurs play.
Ooh.
Look at you and your
Lucky
newfound
you.
love of football.
Because as we all know, I am BRB UK's biggest Spurs fan. As we
Yes.
all know. Yeah.
Yes.
Top-
is that
top
is
Spurs
that the Tottenham hot Spurs? you're
The
going
hottest
to
of the
see?
Spurs, I believe.
The
Not
hottest
so
of the
hot at the
Spurs.
moment, but hey, pretty lukewarm.
Yes, they don't get that pig bladder in that ball net, do they? Oh, they ought to do some more of that.
It's more the
Anyway,
problem
let's
of
try and
allowing it to enter their net too frequently.
Well, they shouldn't be doing that then, should
No,
they? It's
no.
very silly. They know what the problem is. Sort it out.
Yeah.
That ball shouldn't go in there. Don't let it happen.
Sanchez
Man.
shouldn't be allowed anywhere near our pitch ever again. But, hey.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he dirty?
No,
Dirty,
he's just
dirty
crap.
Sanchez.
Yeah, I know where you're going, but no, he's just bad. Not dirty
Took me
Sanchez,
a
just
second.
crap.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, right. No Tash. Not the OG Dirty Sanchez.
No.
Lovely. Okay. Good. Anyway.
Speaking of moustaches, I actually watched both Mario movies since the last time we all spoke,
Whoa!
basically.
Well,
Oh, wow.
the Bob Hoskins one as well.
The Bob Hoskins one I suffered through as well. I'd forgotten
Right.
just how
You
bad that
suffered, that's
film
a great
was.
film.
It is not a good film at all. I spent a lot of the film going, why did you make it all about dinosaurs? It doesn't have anything to do. There's a dinosaur in the whole thing, and you made Bowser a dinosaur for unknown reasons, and then you made the Mushroom Kingdom about snot for some reason. I don't understand what you're doing.
They should be telling me the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie in the 80s was a load of tripe.
No,
That was great.
that's good.
Was it?
But
Was it,
compared to the Mario
Of course it is.
movie,
Was it, though?
compared to the Mario
Oh, fair
movie,
enough.
it is like Citizen Kane. The Citizen Kane of 90s, popular
Actually, I
culture
think
movies.
you'll find it's a bow not a cane.
Possibly. New one's good, though. New one's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
New Mario
Good.
movie. It was good. I recommend it.
I have yet to go see it, but I did hear because everyone's trying to get their SEO up for Mario movies, so everyone's kind of reviewing the original Bob Hoskins one at the minute. And one of the best takes I've seen on it is, hey, nowadays when you want to make the movie that you've always wanted to make, you kind of do the license film first, and then once you've gained your clout for doing that, then you can go to the studio and go, I want to make X movie. And they, back in the 90s, they went, "Hey, I want to make a movie in a cyberpunk universe about dinosaurs. I'll make it about Mario."
Yep. Indeed.
Good film. I love it.
I suppose it was just after Jurassic Park, so maybe they were trying to cash in on the whole Steven Spielberg Jurassic Park era of cinema popularity. But
was it after Jurassic Park?
Yeah, because wasn't Jurassic Park 91?
1 year after.
And
yeah, all right. So
Jurassic Park 93, Mario Brothers 94.
Was it? I could have sworn it was in the 80s.
I thought Mario Brothers was 93 as well, but hey.
You might be thinking of the Turtles or Masters of the Universe, Dan.
I might be thinking of both.
Or the Transformers movie, which you love.
If anyone dares do a dirty poo on the Transformers movie, I'm going to have words with them. It's a great movie. Great movie. I cried when Optimus died. Spoiler alert. And that you just heard is officially the best possible version in all of the multiverses of the Transformers theme.
Whereas Masters of the Universe, I was very confused by. I remember liking it, but also really confused why they didn't make it properly. Why have you made this?
Because they were just cashing in.
That was strange.
I believe Masters of the Universe was the first film I ever saw in a cinema.
Wow,
really?
First one I ever remember seeing was E.T. There you go.
Okay.
I can't recall what my first movie was.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also, the first sticker book I ever completed, E.T. There you go.
Oh, I'd have to check because it's a toss-up between Batman or Master of the Universe. I'd need to see which one released first, but I know definitely I saw Little Mermaid after that.
But I believe Master of the Universe was 87 and Batman was 89.
There you go. I must have seen Master of the Universe at a matinee or something, and then Batman after, which I remember every time I tell people, they go, "You wouldn't have been old enough to see Batman." Like, I know. Cinemas were different then. If you had a local one, they didn't really care.
No, I was 9 and I got in to see Batman.
Yeah. Are you paying the money?
Nice.
Okay. Wasn't that one of the first 12s, Batman?
Yes, it was the first 12.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very specific movie knowledge from me today.
Yeah,
very specific movie knowledge.
Shall we veer away from dredging up the past?
Bants, see what you did there. So I've been playing Dredge, probably about a third of the way in. So Dredge is a game that is out on your PlayStations, your Xboxes, your Switches, and your Steams. And I've been playing it on, guess what? My Massive Deck. And so this is published by Team 17, developed by indie studio Black Salt Games, and it's all about fishing, kind of.
Yeah.
Ish.
Eldritch horror fishing.
Exactly. It's kind of horror fishing, I think, is probably the thing we should do. And the problem is if you don't look after your boat, you get resident weevils.
So bad.
I can't find the rim shot. Hold on. There it is.
Oh, hey, thank you.
I'll keep that on handy for next time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks. It's
shame.
Yes, that is definitely well deserved. So you are in this game a fisherman,
I am.
enough, and your boat has been shipwrecked on an island.
Right.
And you don't know. Guess what? No recollection of why you've come to be here, but there is a trusty yet slightly suspect mayor who's quite willing to give you a boat if you pay him some money. So you've got to start fishing. What?
A horse?
No.
Boat.
No, you said a mare.
I mean...
Did say keep it handy.
Wow. Well, no, I just didn't think he was going to auto rim shot himself. I didn't think he was going to go for that. Anyway, so Dredge, you are a discombobulated fisherman who's had to take a boat from a shifty mayor. And that
right.
Well, there we go, a mayor.
John.
And you've got to start fishing, but not before long. As soon as you start getting out into those lovely rolling waves in the bay of wherever it is you ended up, you start sensing that something is afoot. There is strange creatures in the deep. There are people whose lives have been ruined by mysterious forces. It turns dark at night, whispers Star. There are ghostly boats. There are mutated fish. And it's kind of a very low-key horror thing going on. So you just kind of discover as you explore and look for more fish and do errands for people that, you come across slightly shady characters and you've got to help solve all the mysteries. Well, you don't have to. You can.
Scooby-Doo style.
Just trundle around in your boat. Yeah, you could try. No, there's no big reveal of ripping the.
I already got away with it if it wasn't for all of the fish. Yeah, that sort of thing.
What about sailing, but all the backgrounds keep repeating themselves?
Sure. Yeah. That.
And there's a bunch of objects, and one of them is a slightly different, like a brick will be slightly different to the rest of the bricks, so that's the one that's going to move.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is what I understand to be Scooby-Doo style.
Yeah, all of those things, sure. Let's. I'm just gonna agree with you just to try and keep this short. There we go. Excellent.
And Batman turns up.
Yes. So it's all about got to upgrade your boat, got to upgrade your fishing gear. It's just a very nice kind of chill game. Actually, I kind of quite like it. I mean, there's nothing particularly complex in the storytelling. There's interesting backstory for all the characters. Is it going to set the world on fire? The narrative, no. Is it a kind of an interesting mix of exploring shipwrecks and old civilizations and kind of understanding the story of characters? Yeah, it is. There's some nice mechanics in there. It's a great Steam Deck game, I would say. It's kind of really, you can kind of, because the game because it's on a day-night cycle and time only passes when you move. They don't make enough of that mechanic, in my personal opinion, but anyway. I mean, so it's kind of everything's in like self-contained 10-minute chunks before you have to go and dock again. You have to dock your dick.
I thought
so. You have to do. Dock your dick. Got to dock your dick before the time on the clock runs out. What you got to do?
It's getting stuck.
There we go. It's all right, better now.
The accent slid from South Africa to parts unknown quite quickly.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it's a very nice Steam Deck game. It's 20 quid. I kind of feel like I would have been slightly happier paying near a 10 or 12.
Okay.
It's not going to set the world on fire. It's a perfectly nice, enjoyable diversion. It's a very good chill-out game if you just want something that's not too kind of in your face.
Okay.
I find it perfectly inoffensive. I wouldn't say the horror side of it is particularly going to get under your skin. It's just there's some interesting tales to explore. So I'd probably wait till it comes down in price, probably wait for a sale. But yeah, Dredge, good fun.
I've heard good things about it generally, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of heard this is thrilling and relaxing, kind of like a, I guess if you take too much cough medicine and start playing Resident Evil Village.
Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, interesting. I did a little whip around on the prices. I had a look about PC, Xbox, and Switch. $21.99. PlayStation. $19.99. £2 saving.
Or I bought mine on the Humble store, so I got 10% off and donated mine to charity.
Charity, mate. I think on CD keys it's cheaper as well, and yeah, there's about if you shop around. But on the main stores, those are the RRPs, if you will.
I may pick it up on the Switch at some point. It sounds like it's a good fit for that. So
yeah, this is on the Steam Deck's Steam wish list for me, I think.
Yeah. So there we go. So nice, and it looks purdy as well.
Purdy.
It's got a nice visual style. Somewhere circa, I would say, kind of like Windwalker-y kind of vibes to it.
Okay. May I read you my favourite quote about this game?
Yes, please do. Read me your favourite quote about this game.
It's just at the end of a review, and it says, overall, Dredge is a well-made and enjoyable game that is sure to appeal to fans of both fishing and horror. Good.
Those are two Venn diagrams you don't often see. Unless you've left a packet of fish fingers on the radiator in the middle of summer, and then you open them.
Ooh.
That is quite a horrifying experience, I can confirm.
Whenever a game gets made when it's a mashup of two weird genres, I always think of like playing through Game Dev Story and then planning like the kind of game that you were going to make, and then mashing together two odd things to how it kind of made. It's interesting how developers kind of arrive at, like, who would think to make a horror fishing game necessarily? It's not necessarily one that you'd run towards thinking it was going to make you millions necessarily, no. But yeah, interesting anyway. I'm glad that we get them.
I mean, Black Salt Games came up with this, so if you want to know who would come up with this, Kiwis, apparently.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yep. That makes more sense.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, that's enough poorly constructed narrative from me on a game.
Oh, okay.
I shall hand over the mic to others.
Okay. I mean, I have review games that I'm not ready to review yet. While I was on holiday, though, I did take my Steam Deck and was playing Metal Gear Rising Revengeance finally on that, which plays lovely. I know you've also got that one, Dan. And also, while I was on holiday, I got sent a copy from Nice Man Neil of, what's it called? I've forgotten the name of it all of a sudden. Teardown, that was it, which I've been very much enjoying.
Awesome fun.
Yeah, I've got so far.
How's that run on the deck?
It runs very well on the deck. I took the quality down to low. It didn't need it.
Yeah.
I just wanted it to sound a little bit less jet engine-y. And
it makes my PC go bonkers, I have to say.
Yeah. But I've got to a point now where I am really enjoying it. I'm still really enjoying it, but I think I need to play it on the desktop for a bit just to kind of do some of the harder levels. So, focus on it with a bigger screen for a bit and then go back to handheld stuff. Because where that game, if you don't know, the game's kind of like this little. They'll put you in a open area full of where everything's made of voxels, and you have to destroy things, and you're kind of a demolitions expert, and it begins with you destroying something, but you destroyed like a heritage building, and then before you know it, you're in trouble with the police, and then you're in trouble with like a rival mob, I guess, and you end up doing all these missions, but there's kind of two versions of each level where one is just pure destruction of something, go in, demolish something. Another one will be do a heist, steal X amount of this and do it within a time limit. So I think I need to do the more heisty things at home and the more demolition-y things on the handheld. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that. Tim's actually played a more recent game, though.
You say a more modern game, but this is actually a game that is more modern on Switch, because I believe it just came out this week on Switch, but it was actually out previously on some other things as well, I think. But it's now out on Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC. I did get a review copy of the game. It's a game that is... I like the title, but it's not entirely descriptive of what it is. It's called Dogfight, a sausage bomber story, which is quite wordy. Okay. Contains the word story, which is slightly misleading considering there's not a huge amount of story in the game. But it is a scrolling shoot 'em up, does 1 to 4 players. I don't think there's any online. I think it's all local multiplayer, basically. It is a old school scrolling shoot 'em up in the kind of R-type style in terms of, you're scrolling from left to right, shooting waves of enemies. But it is a kind of colourful, cartoony art style, quite nice and bright and vibrant. As the slightly silly title hints at, it's got a silly sausage-based element to it. It kind of flicks around. It's got sausage in the title, but it seems to be more hot dog related. There's kind of like you're shooting wieners and sausage bombs, basically brat bombs and other type of things like that.
Brat bombs.
Brat bombs. And there's kind of at least early on, there's two main sort of divisions of weapons. You can have any two weapons at one time, and you can actually split it so that you have two of the guns that work in different ways. But to start with, you just have a gun that fires forward. You then unlock a gun that shoots in both directions. And then you shoot a spread, and then there's one that shoots in 4 directions, and then there seems to be crazier things as you get deeper into the game. There's also various different bombs you can unlock that are kind of, it's a big bomb to start with, and then there's a kind of cluster bomb thing that crawls along and breaks up into other parts. All of those weapons, when you pick up upgrades in the level, will like add to the firepower of what you have. So you'll be getting increased firepower, shooting in all those various directions, or increased bomb strength and stuff like that, or the cluster bombs actually increases the number of clusters you have and stuff like that. There's only kind of 9 levels, and each one kind of finishes off in a boss, but it does the thing that a lot of these games do, where once you've defeated a boss in a level, you'll see it as a kind of sub-boss in subsequent levels. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It plays really well. It's really enjoyable. I really quite like the humor. It's one of those things where the flavor of humor is like sausage. If you like sausage-based puns, you're going to be in for a good time with this, basically. But then there's also like really silly things like they I kind of appreciate them. They're not like hysterically funny, but they keep me giggling throughout. And the other person that I was playing co-op with was laughing along as well. And they're kind of like, each time you start a new level, it gives the level a different like code name, like Operation Pink Wafer, or like it's just always something slightly like weird and silly. And then it also, every time you fight a boss, it seems to give them different likes and dislikes. I was fighting a mega boat, and I can't remember what the like was. It was like likes shooting you, and then dislikes swimming. And it's just really stupid things like that. But it's kind of kept me chuckling throughout. It doesn't seem to necessarily balance that much in multiplayer. I haven't played in 4-player. I've only played in 2-player. But when you are playing with more people, it doesn't really seem to decrease the number of enemies or decrease how much you're being shot or shot at. It basically just means that the power-ups you collect in the level will be divided by between 2 of you rather than you getting them all yourself. Also, if you die, you lose some of that power-ups, and so you're better off actually kind of going for the power-ups and possibly costing yourself a bit of life. You've got like, it's not like a one-shot kill, at least not when you're playing the not harder levels. If you're just playing the base level of the game, you can take a couple of shots normally, but some of the bigger enemies will hit you a bit harder and kind of one-shot kill you occasionally. But generally, you can get out of that. And even when your energy's been reduced to 0, it's got a little mechanic where you can rapidly tap the button to come back to life, which I haven't seen in this sort of game before. It works quite well. It does mean that it's more of a difficulty or threat to fly lower to the ground. You want to stay at the top of the screen because that gives you more time to bash the button should you get shot, basically. So there's a kind of tactical and strategic element to staying near the top of the screen. But yeah, like it plays really well, works really well. It's also got like a speed run mode type thing built into it where you can increase the speed and you go from like 1.1 to 1.6, or it starts at 1, obviously, but that's the speed increase. But it will only engage that increase if you're shooting enemies without being shot. So if you get shot, that slows it down again. So you can speed up the level, and there's a whole thing where you've got to try and get through the game as quickly as possible. There's also a star rating system that relates to how many enemies you're taking out in the level, I think, from what I can work out. And the more of those stars you get, the more of the different weapons you unlock as well, basically. So even though each level is only sort of 3 to 4 minutes long, and you can get through the whole 9 levels in like under 2 hours, like even with, mistakes and playing through and blah, 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 it is quite replayable, and it does encourage you to replay, and it does play quite differently once you've unlocked different weapons. And there is the possibility of playing it in 1 to 4 player, which kind of adds to the replayability a bit as well. As I said, I really like it. I kind of highly recommend it. It is a good version of one of these type of games. It plays well. I can't kind of work out some of the mechanics of like, there's a kind of medals that you pick up in the game, and I don't quite know what they do, because I think it's the stars that unlock other weapons, like the star rating you get in the thing. I can't work out if I think it might just be score related, but then it doesn't seem to really make a difference to your score. It only really seems to care about how quickly you're getting through the level, and how many enemies you're defeating. So I don't really know what the score does other than possible bragging rights or whatever. But as I said, the story's a little bit thin on the ground, but it's kind of, there's enough good humor there to carry you through. I don't think it needs a deep, massive story for this game. I quite like the interactions with the bosses and kind of some of the stuff they do with you as well. There's one where you fight a mega train as the end of the boss, and he just goes through a lot of like really bad train-related puns after you defeat him, and keeps on saying, "I'm going to keep on keeping up these train puns until you go away," and this keeps on going through.
Did you say Megatrain?
Megatrain. They're all like mega tanks, mega trains, mega boats, mega satellites. And yeah, like it's just, yeah, it's a good fun pick up and play game. I think the fact that it's 4-player kind of makes it stand out a little bit from the crowd of scrolling shoot 'em ups, because I can't think of many. There's quite a few that are single player, obviously. There's quite a few that are 2-player. I can't think of many that actually go to 4-player. So it'd be a good fun one when yourself and others are coming around, Mr. Coleman, for us to possibly pick up and play when we're all fighting gamed out for the evening, and want to pick up and play something together. And yeah, it's a good humoured, good fun, good graphics. Yeah, I generally recommend it.
I have questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Sausages. Why?
Sausages. Is it me? Is the word sausage in the context of a hot dog more interchangeable in America than it is here? Because for me, a sausage is something very different from a hot dog. Not very different, but different.
I was expecting sausage dogs. That's the pun I thought they were going to go for. But instead it just seems to be, yeah, you're humans flying planes, and because reasons, there's sausages. So I cannot quite work out what the sausage thing is, other than them going, hey guys, we need a zany thing to stand out.
I mean, I'm not saying there's a lot of logic to it, Dan, or it makes a lot of sense. The one thing I can tell you is it's fun to play, and I quite like it, and it makes me laugh. But yeah, I don't get why it's called dogfight necessarily, other than you're flying a plane, but there's not much. I guess you're dogfighting with the other planes in the thing, but
2 planes fighting is a dogfight.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. We could go into why that doesn't entirely make sense. But beyond that, what has that got to do with sausages, though, Coleman? That's my question here. And is hot dogs and sausages more interchangeable in other countries? Because for me, there's a distinction between those two things.
Because they're a different type of sausage.
Are they, though?
They're still sausages.
A Frankfurt in a bun.
See, I've got a phobia of Frankfurters, so I'm not sure whether I could check this out.
A Frankenphobia?
Yeah, well, that and just German sausages in general. I fear the worst.
Was this... oh! Nice.
No, I do need to check. I'll have a look at this one because I was thinking today, actually, I genuinely do need a new shoot 'em up, a shmup, if you will, in my life. I haven't played one in a long time. I used to really, really get along with them. So recommendations from the listeners, please. We'll have some shoot 'em up recommendations, please.
As I said, I recommend this one. It is good. But yeah, it's available on most things. I think it is $18, €18, or about £15. That may vary slightly, but I believe it's around that sort of range.
I can tell you right now, Tim.
Yeah,
it's $14.99 on PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, and $13.99 on PC.
Wow,
there you go. And yeah, I think for that price, it's reasonable. I would have liked a couple more levels, maybe like 12 levels would have been nicer. Perhaps they might release some as free DLC in the future. But generally, the levels are quite replayable, quite good fun. And yeah, it's generally a good game. I recommend.
Do you know, though, that there's some limitations, though, that the planes can only do sausage rolls, not barrel rolls? Okay.
Do you know how to make a sausage roll?
Push it down a hill?
Yeah. That was for both of you.
Thank you.
Tim got a delayed one.
Thank you. Thank you. Throwback to Bowser. What do you call a sausage made from dinosaur meat?
Jurassic pork. Yes.
Do you hear the wedding vows when two sausages got married to one another? They promised to stay with each other for better or for worse.
That's the same pun Coleman did. You can't just repeat the same one he's already done.
No, it was a different one.
It's Wurst.
Different setup, same answer.
Yeah.
Think you'll find your worst.
I think you'll find that joke was the worst.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Should we do the news?
Yes. I've got some breaking news if you care.
Stop looking at sausage puns, Dan.
I'm
Go
not
for it.
looking at... Or I'm looking at sausage puns.
I could see it in your eyes the minute he said sausage. I'm going to look up sausage puns
There's some good ones.
because I did
There's
the
some
exact same
terrible
thing.
ones.
Go on then, Tim. What's the breaking news? Oh,
You
wait,
two are the
hold on.
worst.
Tim's got
PlayStation
news.
has acquired...
Wait.
whoa,
Oh, we haven't had basic news for a while.
News just coming in from Slough in Berkshire. A local gents hairdresser has just started handing out sausage sandwiches to those waiting for a haircut. Locals describe it as the best barbecue they've been to in ages. Barbecue. Because it's a queue for a barber's.
Right, that's the last one.
We've moved away from sausage-based barbecue. We've moved past that, Dan.
It's a wordplay joke. It's great. God damn it, you uncultured swines.
Swine.
Thank you.
Go on then, Tim. What's the news?
The news is PlayStation have acquired Firewalk Studios, developer made up of former Bungie devs working on a AAA multiplayer game for PC and PS5. There you go, that happened
It's like
while we're on the show.
they're reuniting the band. They're bringing all the bits of Bungie back together.
Yep.
Are they named after Twin Peaks?
Seemingly the opposite of what Meta have done this week, where they've been going, oh, we're going to pivot back to games by firing all our people that are making games for us. Well done. Brilliant strategy. Great.
Sound
great
strategy.
work.
Let's see if it pays off.
Yeah, the bold and the stupid.
Right, on to the news. I have a quick update. We've spoken about this before. I thought you'd like a nice little update. And as Tim was talking about the Mario movie earlier in the show, you should be all terrified because Bowser's escaped from prison, guys.
No.
Yes.
Really?
It's happened.
How's he done that?
Well, if you remember a little while ago, we were talking about Team
Coopers.
Executor or Zecutor, or a very silly name, has got an X in it. Gary Bowser, who was a Canadian member of that hacking team, he was sentenced to 40 months in prison in order to pay a fine of $14.5 million. He's now been released from prison for good behavior. And so far, you'll be pleased to know of the $14.5 million, he has paid $175. So he may be paying this off for the rest of his life.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, how is a individual ever going to pay off $10 million? You may as well say, we're going to fine them 400 bajillion million pounds, because they're never going to pay that off, ever.
To be fair, there's a lot of individuals being sued in America for billions at the moment, so, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
I've seen the argument floating around, why are people siding with Nintendo on this? Because they shut down the e-stores for the 3DS and the Wii U, and it's kind of like Nintendo's without saying so, they're promoting piracy basically, because there's a lot of games that aren't wait. There's a lot of games that
at best.
I know. There's a lot of games that were available that are no longer ever available unless you literally download ROMs online. And there's been a whole discussion since the e-stores shut down. I think where this is different is this is the Switch. This is stuff that, you know, is currently out there, and you shouldn't be pirating from modern day consoles and game industry and all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of arguments about piracy, and apparently if you look at stats, the biggest pirates are the people that spend the most money on media themselves, because they kind of try before they buy or whatever, or you go to the cinema and then you download the film later.
A very wishy-washy excuse.
But Coleman, I've got a question for you.
Mm-hmm. If this is sausage related, I'm going to reach through the screen and strangle you.
You wouldn't steal a car, would you?
You wouldn't steal a hot dog.
You wouldn't steal a car.
You wouldn't download a Frankfurt.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a little update for that. The other Nintendo news is there was an Nintendo Indie World Showcase, and I went through and I did take a note down of all the games, and I've got to admit, I don't think there's anything that immediately screamed out for me to want to play.
No.
I'm kind of interested in Animal Well, which is Big Mode's first game.
Yeah, that looked nice.
Which that's Video Game Donkey's studio. publishing studio. Chilea's Art, I believe, is the actual developer. I haven't been that interested looking at the game itself, but by hearing through kind of third-party accounts of people playing the game at PAX East and then saying how good the game is, now I kind of want to play it, and I'm just kind of curious to see, what Donkey's involved in.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of things. Blasphemous 2, I might be quite interested to see.
I thought you were keen on that.
Yeah, there's a Cult of Lamb bit of DLC. I'm surprised Teslagrad is getting another game, because I remember the original Teslagrad being
great.
Pants.
Oh, no, it was great. I love Teslagrad. Huh? I'm more interested that there's a remaster coming out than the actual sequel.
I'm going to stop myself there. I'm thinking of a different game.
Right.
There you
go.
Because
I'm old. There you go. Teslagrad, quite good.
There's there was the Quilts and Cats of Calico, which I only mentioned because Calico is a very popular board game, but even that seemed a bit dull. Like I'm not entirely keen on the look of the board game. So even with them adding extra cats to the video game version, it didn't seem to be that intriguing. As you said, Blasphemous 2 was probably the thing. For me, the standout thing throughout the whole show was done in a really weird snippet at the end, which was really weird because as soon as the whole indie direct had finished, the developers of Bomb Funk Cyberpunk, is that the Bomb Rush Cyberpunk?
If it isn't, that should be the name. Sounds cool.
That should be the name. But it's the Jet Set Radio-esque game coming out by some, I think, Swedish developers that looks really good. But yeah, they had a trailer that was ready to go that went out like literally after the whole Nintendo Direct just finished. And I don't know why they didn't show the whole trailer, because they did have like a roundup thing at the end that showed off the game's release date being in August, which I was quite pleased with. And that was probably my main takeaway from the whole thing. But I don't understand why they didn't show the trailer, because the trailer was really cool that they showed afterwards as well. But yeah.
Excellent, very specific complaint, Tim.
Yeah.
I like it.
Good.
I did like Rift of the Necrodancer, which is Brace Yourself Games, if you don't know. Crypt of the Necrodancer, and what was the Hyrule one? Cadence of Hyrule?
It's on Tim.
Cadence of Hyrule. Cadence of Hyrule.
Yeah.
That's right. I got that right. Yeah. The main character is called Cadence. That's right. Anyway, they've got a new game which is in the Crypt of the Necrodancer universe, but this time, instead of being the kind of, Dan, what do you want to say? It's not a sausage joke, is it?
It's not a sausage joke. What do you call a ruler that's on a shelf?
Go on.
Hyrule. Thank you. Carry on.
I'm not even sure that qualified as a joke. It definitely wasn't a sausage joke.
Right, you come up with one then, Tim. You come up with one rather than, I would like to draw attention to the fact that they only partially showed a video during one thing and then proceed to show it in full.
That's a discussion of gaming, which is what this podcast is supposed to be. not a list of crap jokes I found on the internet.
I came up with that one myself, young man.
I can tell.
Thank you very much. That is my crap joke. That is not the internet's crap joke.
No one told me there was going to be boasting.
Jesus.
Anyway, what was I talking about? Rift of the Necrodancer.
Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Yeah, whereas Crypt of the Necrodancer and Cadence of Hyrule, they were kind of dungeon crawlers done with where you had to play everything in time of rhythm. This one's done more like a Guitar Hero style looking game, but you're hitting the notes in the right time, much like Guitar Hero, and you've got the big fretboard and all that kind of stuff. And it changes into little mini games and boss fights and stuff, depending on how far you get in. And I like the idea of it. I'd like it better if I could use a guitar controller with it, though. Because
on the tube on your Steam Deck.
Oh, yeah, totally. I reckon I can make that work.
Do you remember there was that really weird, was it 3DS or was it just a DS version of Guitar Hero with the plug-in?
It's in the attic.
Oh, it's bizarrely good fun. It's one of the dumbest things ever, but it's quite awesome.
Yeah, I think that was plain vanilla DS, but it went in the Game Boy Advance slot, and it was a little, the finger part, the buttons for the Guitar Hero, and then you used a
He had a
plectrum
little
stylus.
plectrum on the touchscreen.
It was really dumb and didn't play very well, but kind of cool at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. It was so dumb. It was awesome. Anyway, but I'm glad to see
have you
that
seen
in that
Drums
list,
Rock,
James
by the
Katz
way,
get a
Mr.
good
Coleman?
shout out. What?
Have you seen
Sorry?
Drums Rock, Mr. Coleman? I'm not sure
No.
how much that interests you. I know you like guitar-based games.
Oh, is that
I'm not
the
sure
VR
if you
thing?
Like drumming game. It is in VR. I don't
Is
know
that
if
the
there's a
VR
flat
drum
screen
game?
version because it doesn't have to be in VR. I don't know if there is a flat screen version.
I've heard it's rubbish.
Oh, well, I played the demo
myself, so
and it seemed
I will-
okay.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I was. Who was I listening? I think it was
I think you'd
Wolf
like
Den, and he was because he plays drums, and he was saying in VR it does not feel right trying to play that game.
No.
But hey,
Yeah.
probably the same argument as people that can actually play guitar playing Guitar Hero say.
Yeah.
So
I would
There you go.
imagine it's a similar thing.
I will say a couple of sequels thrown in there, which were big news in certain circles, but not for me. There's a sequel to my Time at Porsche called My Time at Sandrook that comes out on the 23rd of June. I didn't like My Time at Porsche though. That's kind of a bit of an Animal Crossing-esque, but with a dungeon crawler aspect and farm Stardew Valley RPG type thing going on. There was a sequel to Oxenfree 2 Lost Signal, which I believe that's been announced previously, but still no release date on there. They just decided to stick that on the end of their thing there. As we said, sequel to Teslagrad 2 still has no release date either. The DLC for Cult of the Lamb, Relics of the Old Faith comes out on the 24th of April. I'd be more excited about that because I really did enjoy Cult of the Lamb, but I think I just played so much of that in one hit, did as much as I could with that game and went, all right, I'm done. The kind of novelty's over for me.
That was the one that they were showing off at WASD. The stuff that I heard from other people was that it was quite good and entertaining, and it seemed popular. So, might be worth a look.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Cult of the Lamb is a brilliant game. I just think that I found it so that hook just got me and was very addicting. And then once I just binged on it so much, late nights, early mornings, and I went,
addictive. Addicting's not a word.
Addicting is an Americanism.
Shut up.
Please don't use it on a UK-based podcast. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Addicting.
Wash your
Very
dirty mouth
addicting
out.
game. Addicted.
No,
game.
I will make a joke about the new weapon type in the DLC if you don't stop using that word.
I can't find an appropriate sound effect. Oh, here you go.
I will do it if you don't change your ways, Coleman.
Okay, it was a very
addictive.
Yeah, correct.
Well done.
All right.
Addictive.
This has been English lessons with BRB UK. Right, yes, very addictive. And once I binged on it, I just kind of went, all right, I'm done. I don't need to go back to that. I might do if I double dip and get it on Switch in a sale at some point. On Steam Deck at some point. I think I'll jump back into it then. But I've had enough on home console now. Could be fun on the bus or whatever,
But Cult of the Lamb, the new weapon type is a shank. Lamb shank.
That's pretty clever.
I thought so. Thank you. Thanks.
I thought you were being serious for a second. Took me a moment to realize what you were doing.
No. There we go.
I don't like the look of it, but
Still
I
not
like
sure.
the idea. Plate up is Overcooked, but with a roguelite mechanic added to it, which I like the idea of that. You unlock upgrades that are reusable,
New equipment
the further
and
you
stuff.
play through, which is a really good
So you can
idea, I think,
automate
because
things.
Overcooked is really hard to play on your own. And
Fair enough.
maybe that would be an easier way of doing it. Was there anything else in this lot that you guys want to talk about?
I'm still angry about that video.
Not really. There was some quite funny stuff about Crime O'Clock not quite realizing that their logo, when they ticked the L round in Crime O'Clock, looked like Crime O'Cock. But
Oh, maybe they did know.
maybe they did. Maybe they were playing for laughs. I mean, that game actually looked reasonably interesting, and I may not have spoken about it now if it wasn't for their weird cocked up logo. It looked possibly interesting, traveling forward and backwards in time to solve murder mystery type things, possibly, or crimes in general, not necessarily
cheating.
murders. But yeah, looked okay.
Hoping that
But
the
yeah,
last
I
leak will
thought
be a leap
overall
home.
the whole thing was a little bit thin on the ground. There wasn't any real standout big news, and from what I could see, most people were a little bit disappointed with it overall.
I don't get why people get angry at the Nintendo Direct. Well, I do know, because the Nintendo diehard fan base are absolutely insane. But I don't get why they get so angry at the directs that aren't the main direct when it's
Because
the main
everyone
direct.
makes a
and
load
they
of predictions.
Indirects, if you will.
Yeah, everyone makes loads of predictions, stokes up like excitement for it, and then they can't possibly live up to all of that excitement. Like a lot of people were talking about the fact that we were going to hear about Silk Song and stuff like that. And there was no indication that was necessarily going to be the case. Just a lot of people predicted things and got their hopes up for things, and then when it doesn't deliver on those things, people get disappointed. Like, welcome to the internet, like.
Well, the one that
just the way it is.
Even when we were still in the kind of announced release period for DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and every time there was a direct coming up, it didn't matter what version, they were always going, Rayman, Sephiroth, this person added to Smash Bros. When? And the weirdest one was when they did, I think it was the Nintendo third party stream, and they came out and go, look, this is the partner showcase. There's no first party Nintendo stuff announced, and then the minute it came, like, they try to come out, get ahead of it, and then the minute it's finished, it's just a bunch of people on Twitter going, why are you announcing Smash Bros?
Where's Switch 2? No Switch 2, worst day ever.
I ate my Nintendo Switch and now I've got poisoning from the batteries. I choked on a Joy-Con.
I could feel it drifting as it went down.
Stick drift right in my esophagus. I don't know what this voice is. I think this is what I use at work.
Wow.
Right, we're going to blast through the news.
Your work voice?
We're going to blast through the news because Dan's got a hard out that he's got to run off for. But we'll say Irongate is getting sued by Nexon. That's a weird development going on. There's a game called Dark and Darker, which is coming out, and Nexon are claiming that Dark and Darker is a copy of their game P3, and they're seeking damages of $10 million.
I haven't heard of either of these games.
Well, they're very angry with each other, Tim.
I've heard of both studios.
Nexon was also in a bit of news this week because apparently they now own the rights to Lawbreakers, and Cliffy B was trying to do something to resurrect Lawbreakers, apparently, by the looks of things, and asking them to talk.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah.
So the wrinkle in this story is, of course, that
Wrinkle?
the team at there is a wrinkle
In time.
The Iron Mace team, the Iron Mace dev
Not
team
Tim.
used to work at Nexon.
Right.
Oh,
I see how that works.
right.
Yes.
All right.
So that's a tricky thing.
They
so
may have stolen
probably,
some
you know,
stuff.
I can. Well, allegedly, that's what's alleged. I mean, in the very
meant by may.
Blur-O-Vision screenshots I've seen, there are definitely some similarities, but who knows? $10
Are there
million
any
sounds like a
original
lot.
ideas, Dan, eh?
None.
None.
There are no original ideas.
I don't think a none is an original idea.
I haven't had an original idea since 1983.
Well, I mean, Media Molecule came up with an idea for a platform for people to express new ideas with, and it just ended up with a bunch of clones of Sonic the Hedgehog and Last of Us and all other games that already pre-exist. But anyway, Media
Badly
Molecule,
made
they
Sonic
announced
the
that they're going to end support for Dreams. There's some good ones, actually. They're going to end
dream
support
is
for
over.
Dreams
Yeah, Tim.
on the 1st of September 2023. That means there'll no longer be any new updates or content released for the game after that date. You'll still be able to make stuff, you'll still be able to play the games, download them, and view the videos and things that they do on there, but there's not going to be anything added, no new support, anything like that at all, because they're going to be focusing on the next game. Part of me, a little bit sad because I did like Dreams. I didn't get into it as much as I thought I would, but I will be glad to see Media Molecule work on something else because I miss them making other games. And also there are a million kind of game development tools out there that are simplified, and like Roblox is the biggest one for kids at the moment. Fortnite's are now getting in on the action. I can see why you want to get out of it.
Yes, it does seem a bit weird, and a few people are upset that there isn't going to be both PS5 support and PSVR 2 support as well, because there's a lot of VR content in there as well. So I think it is a bit weird.
Well, it's a PS4 game.
Yes, but I think it's a bit weird that there isn't greater support for PS5 and PSVR 2 going forward. You would have thought that they would have had enough time to do that by now, possibly. But yeah, I don't know. This seems a bit odd.
I don't think it's sold enough to warrant porting it to another
That's possibly
console.
the
Although,
thing,
arguably, this should have been in their lineup of games to port from PlayStation to PC if you were serious about the community and all that kind of stuff. But also, and the tools that would be available for using it through PC. But I would say, rather than going, if they were serious about the platform, they should have put this on PS5s launched. Just gone. Here you go. Here's Dreams. Go see what's available, and then there's all of a sudden there's this wealth of games that other people have made, and plus the ones that are available on there already for you to explore. I think that would have been a cool idea, and it would have given it some longevity as a platform rather than as a 25 quid game.
I was just going to say, I think the thing for me has always been, I kind of really love the idea of Dreams, but I just have not been able to get my head around all of the things that I need to do in it.
I enjoyed
it
playing
was
stuff.
Hard. I tried.
Yeah, playing stuff was
difficult.
Fun. Yeah, but making stuff gave me brain cramp.
Yeah.
So, there we go. That's more on me, though, I think.
That's fair. Right.
Yeah, likewise.
Burning through these last ones. So, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has had another delay. That's now been pushed back to the 2nd of February next year. So we'll see what happens there. If they're going
Suffered
to
the curse of Coleman without even getting picked by you this year, Coleman, eh?
Sure. I mean, screw it. Why not? Niantic, the developers of Pokemon Go, they've announced their latest game, which everyone always goes, hey, the developers of Pokemon Go. They always forget they did a Harry Potter game that no one played. So, they're working on a Monster Hunter game called Monster Hunter Now. That is going to be similar to Pokemon Go. It's going to be available for iOS and Android devices in September, I believe. And that is, again, AR. Go around with your mobile phone, find monsters, fight them in the real world, and scan your surroundings and all that kind of stuff. And should be
I look
fun.
forward to seeing many Monster Hunter granddads as opposed to Pokemon granddads. That's going to be the thing, I think.
I was just going to say, I kind of think they made a rod for their own back in the fact that they've probably peaked with Pokemon. I can't see what other property they can actually make something that will be more successful than the Pokemon app was. Like, I don't see it ever happening.
Although it may well be that Europe's not really the big target market they're going for.
True,
there. I
possibly.
think Monster
it could be
Hunter's
Japan.
so popular in kind of Japan.
But Pokemon's fairly popular in Japan. I mean, and has worldwide popularity as well, which I don't know of another property that is as popular as Pokemon is in all regions, or at least in America and Japan, basically.
I can't see them hitting the lofty heights of the summer of Pokemon Go, which, if you remember, it hadn't even launched in the UK. People were risking getting viruses and malware and all sorts on their phone by downloading APK files from Australia to install on their phone so they could all play Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And even though a game hadn't released, I've never seen so many people out in the sun, in the park, with their phones out, walking around into random places because no one knew how the game properly worked yet. And there was rumors of certain areas, and you have Pokemon maps and things that were third party that would get shut down, and it was a weird time. It was a very
very strange time,
weird time, and I'm always confused that there's such a huge following of Pokemon Go to this day, because I don't know any of them personally. I just see it still going strong online.
I still know people that play it on a regular basis, so yeah.
Wow. Maybe our listeners do. Let us know in the Discord and the comments and all those things. Sega, they announced last week their intention to purchase Rovio, which are the developers of Angry Birds, and this week they've confirmed they're going to purchase Rovio for $775 million. That acquisition should be done by September. Interesting time.
That sounds like a lot of money for a one-trick pony.
I mean, they've sold a lot of Angry Birds.
They have, but does that mean they're going to sell loads of them again? Probably not.
They sold a lot of Angry Bird games and then a lot of level pack DLC type things, and then took them all off the stores and then re-released them as free-to-play type games. And I don't think it's worked out for them in the way that they thought it would.
No.
I'm assuming they've got some big plan up their sleeves if they're being bought for that price.
What it is,
So
it's
we'll have
like
to see
Angry
what comes in the
Birds,
future.
but just with Sonic the Hedgehog. That's their plan, basically. Like,
Yeah,
that's
sure.
what they're going to do.
Miffed hedgehogs.
I mean, they might have already done that for all we know. They did a lot of
Yeah.
crossovers with Angry Birds.
Yeah. But I think it makes sense in the fact that that just very quickly that Sega doesn't have a good mobile presence at the moment, and Rovio know mobile well and have made some mistakes possibly, but also had some successes, and they've got a lot of IPs now that they can actually leverage, like Sega stuff that they could make interesting mobile stuff with possibly.
I think Sega's had a pretty decent mobile outing. I mean, it started with the Sega arcade stuff, and then the Sonic game. Like, there's a lot of free-to-play Sonic games that are incredibly popular. I don't know if they're still as popular, but yeah. They've definitely been out there. So we'll see. Sega's got that money that they've got from selling all their arcades off in Japan, and now they're looking to splash it out on some birds.
Mm.
You know how it is. You get some money in your back pocket. You want to spend it on the
really?
birds.
Are we going here? Are we going here, Coleman? Really?
No.
I'm not sure it's a good idea.
Gonna quit while I'm ahead. And lastly, also splashing the cash this week. We don't know how much for, but Atari have managed. We don't know which version of Atari because there's like 20 versions of Atari out there. One day I'm going to write down the explanation of what's happened with Atari and who owns what. But it's a very lengthy diagram. But Atari have announced they've acquired the rights to over 100 PC and console games from the 1980s and 90s,
Wow.
including multiple titles from well-known publisher Humongous Entertainment.
Wow.
And titles include the likes of Bubsy the Cat,
Yep.
Putt Putt,
Nice.
Carmen Sandiego, Spy Fox, and cult classic on the PC, recently re-released, Freddy Fish, which I think are Entertainment Point and Clicks.
Guessing it's less than $775 million.
20 quid.
Yep.
I have to
And
say
a
though,
bag
this,
of pork scratchings.
Tell you what, 35 quid and I'll throw in the car mat. How's
this
that?
latest
That's right.
incarnation of Atari though do seem to be making generally reasonably sensible decisions, reasonable acquisitions. Like this one's a bit questionable maybe, but like they've got a load of IP. I think. Yeah, this latest version of Atari, this latest iteration of Atari, seems to be doing things more sensibly and better than the previous weird incarnations of just releasing bags and other swag and stuff with the name Atari put on it and stuff like that.
That
And
could be
Atari
a different
hotels and
version of
weird
Atari.
things. Yes,
There
that's
are
what I'm saying. They were weird.
Yeah.
I feel like
they still exist.
multiverses have been breached with how many kind of various incarnations of Atari there are. It's like kind of the Universe 327 version of Atari is the one that sells bags for some reason. And then we have... I don't know if like 70s Atari's original timeline Atari or what, but, you know, it's very confusing.
I don't know.
I
Right,
don't know.
we've got to wrap up because we've
I've got
got
to
like
go.
5 minutes to do so.
Yeah. I should just do... Oh, no, I'm just making sound out my face.
Yes.
And it's taking up time. I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, we're going to finish the show. So what you need to do, aside from take a deep breath and relax, is go to tpublic.com/store/BRB for some sweet merch that features my face. Quick
Not all of
face
it.
watch. Is it still only my face that's on stuff there?
Yeah, I haven't had time. I've been busy at work,
Good.
so I haven't had time. I do want to make an Only
Good.
Dan's one, and I do need Coleman to send me a picture of his face so that I can do stuff with that as well. So,
You leave my face alone.
no.
I do enough stuff with my face. Shaving. my head,
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Moisturizing.
That needed some
There we
clarification.
go. Yes, indeed. So there we go.
Yeah.
Go get your sweet merch. tpublic.com/store/BRB. Tim, Tuesday is Tuesday.
Tuesday
For some
is a
reason, you're
Tuesday.
convinced that Mario has something to do with tabletop games.
Yes.
So I'm confused. Help me.
Slightly late for tying in with the Mario movie, but hey, it's still out there. You can still watch it at the moment, so that kind of makes sense. But we're having a Mario special at this week at Tabletop Tuesday. Anyone doesn't know, we usually do a different feature game every week, and if you play that feature game that evening, you have a chance of winning a copy of the game at the end of the evening. This week, we are having various Mario-themed type board game things for you to come along and play. So we've got Mario Uno,
Thin
which is there
Chess
to play.
where all the pieces
We
are
have
mushrooms.
Mario Game of Life available to play. And then there's the kind of board game related Mario Party, which will be available on a couple of consoles to play in the evening as well. So come along and join us to play some Mario-based board and card games. And come along and join in the fun.
Mario-based Game of Life.
We may have some stuff to give away on the evening. We may not. We'll have to see. There'll be a surprise on the evening itself.
Wow. There's a cliffhanger for a man who doesn't know what he's doing on Tuesday.
No, well, we're doing a Mario special. We've got various games to play. That is what we're doing. We just as a little teaser for things going forward, we are exploring some ways that we're going to be mixing up the formula for Tabletop Tuesday going forward. So we might not have a feature game every week. We will have a feature game some weeks, but not every week going forward for a little bit at least. We're going to mix up a few things. We're going to have 1 week where we do some social deduction stuff. We got the Mario special this week. We'll have a few other things going on as well. But we are going to be mixing it up a bit going forward. If you do need some more details, there'll be more details on the top left-hand side of bigredbarrel.com. You can also join the over 2,050 plus members of our meetup group on meetup.com. Search for Tabletop Tuesday.
Wow. I mean, we sound mocking on our tone of Mario Game of Life, but Tim, that sounds fascinating, and I urge all our listeners to go to Tabletop Tuesday at the Loading Bar in Stoke, Newington, and go play yourself some Mario games and hopefully win yourself a Mario prize. Possibly, Tim's not sure if he has a prize or not. Maybe win Tim. Maybe Tim
you could take
sexy little Mario
don't
hat.
promise. Don't make promises that we can't deliver on.
If you play with Tim,
no,
on Tuesday, you might get to take him home.
No,
Tim's going to wear his special dungarees and red hat.
And his little mustache.
Little mustache.
Oh, yeah,
I should have thought of that. I should have grown my beard out and had a mustache just for the evening. Coleman, can you come along? You're wearing reds. You could shave the rest of your beard. Got a Mario-esque mustache going on there. Let us go. It's a me, Coleman.
Right. If you have enjoyed this show, you are a weirdo, but thank you for listening and or watching.
This has been a very odd show.
It has. You can check out more on bigredbarrel.com. Over there, we've got a comment section under each and every post where you can talk to us. You can also get a link to our Discord, which there will be a link available to in the show notes. I said that a little bit too early. Kind of broke my flow. We also have a Facebook and a Twitter at Big Red Barrel. We also have a YouTube called Big Red Barrel TV, and all the links available to those and anything important, like, the Nintendo Indie Direct that we were talking about. All links to that will be available in the show notes. So whatever app or device you're listening to this podcast on, or on YouTube, scroll down in the notes. Links to everything. There you go. Great.
Amazing.
Job's a good one. We're not going to take questions this week just because we're a little bit short on time, but if you will afford me the moments to just quickly talk about, because we've been away for 2 weeks, I did go on the Discord and I asked what everyone's been up to. I asked what games everyone's been playing, tried to get some questions and stuff. And we had one that was kind of towards more the business end of YouTube that wasn't really relevant to talk about on the show, but has been answered on the Discord. But I do want to just tell you a little story that has been left by Spiky Chris, one of our
good old
favorite
Spiky Chris
listeners.
All right.
I'm trying to find, there it is. So if I could just read this. I asked what everyone was playing, and from Spiky Chris in Discord, he said, I was going to play the Horizon DLC.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
I set it to download on my phone
right
when I was at work, so it'd be ready for tonight.
Oh.
The PS5 only downloaded the DLC, didn't download the base game.
I mean, to be fair, it did exactly what you asked it to.
You didn't tell
As someone that has happened to me many times, it's just really annoying. But yeah, I feel your pain, buddy. Anyway, yeah, go leave
I
us.
find it quite funny.
Leave us questions,
just
leave us
saying.
stories, suggestions, anything like that at all. Give me your shoot 'em up suggestions, please, and questions for next week's episode. And you may
I
get read out.
recommend Dogfight, a sausage bomber story.
I know. I was here when you said it.
Yeah, we all lived through that 30 minutes of our life that we're never going to get back, Tim. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's your lot. Thank you ever so much for downloading us. All that really remains is for me to remind you that I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
Yeah, you have.
My favourite fighter from Primal Rage is Chaos.
Lovely.
Was that a thing?
Thanks, everyone.
That's the ape.
Oh, I never knew his name.
Yeah, the one who does the golden shower as a special.
I think that's the note on which I'm going to end the show. So, thank you for
Great way to go out.
Thank you as ever for
Ape
listening
giving
to
a
us.
golden
And
shower.
until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
That didn't happen in the Mario movie. I can tell you that much.
You're wrong.
You and your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarrel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarrel.com.
So it starts, intro music
Right.
plays. That's generally right
Okay.
about how we start. That's okay. And then host
Hold on.
one.
Brady's intro music. Here we go.